Greetings, kindred spirits. I am so excited to be bringing you this month's new moon forecast. Not only is it the last new moon of the year, but it also takes place in the sign of Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus herself represents the unity of the divine feminine and divine masculine energies, and of course Christ consciousness. Her symbols are many, as she also represents both the light and the dark, the negative and the positive, and her aim is to bring them into balance. Ophiuchus is a giant goddess and has a bird's eye view of the galactic centre as she sits at the golden gate of the gods, and she is willing to share her secrets with those who are willing to listen. Ophiuchus is the healer, the scientist, the politician, the high priestess. She is fair and just and also oversees all other signs of the zodiac. Her story is about divine love, but also about heartbreak and division. The caduceus, the sound wave, the Ouroboros, the phoenix and the dragon, and the serpent are just a few of her symbols. She also rules the 10th house, and the number 10, 1 and 0 is the binary code, which is the universal language. So the new moon begins in Ophiuchus on the 7th of December at 7:21 in the GMT time zone and at 2:21 in the EDT time zone. The moon in Ophiuchus is very feminine in energy and is closely in tune with the moon cycles and women's groups, especially those that are based on ancient healing rituals. This moon is connected to past life memories, ancestry, hidden gifts, and the dream realms, so we can expect our psychic healing and telepathic abilities to heighten during this time, which will help to prepare us for the upcoming winter solstice and full moon, which will take place in Gemini on the 22nd of December. But we can also expect secrets to be revealed or achieve clarity in situations that have been confusing. The only thing is with this energy though, is that it can be very overwhelming, because when the veil lifts to reveal the hidden, it can be mind-blowing, especially for those who are not awake or aware. In the GMT time zone, the new moon will take place in the first house of attitudes and self-expression. We will clearly see at this time how our self-identity has been or is being influenced by other people, for good or bad. There will be a deep desire for independent action, but we must also be aware that it is important to have direction and purpose in everything we do or decide. In this house, we will be close to the spirit realms, so can find our own answers in meditation and prayer. For some, childhood wounds may surface now, especially not those where we have been used by others or another. The energy coming in this new moon is foggy, so we must take the time to clear our heads and develop self-trust and self-esteem. In the EDT time zone, the new moon takes place in the 3rd house of siblings and the inner child. And again, this shows that reasoning skills can be distorted by emotional wounds from childhood. We must beware of developing a victim mentality and seek healing and guidance from within. The imagination can be vivid at this time, so we must beware of blowing things out of proportion, and maybe voice our feelings on paper or record them rather than to voice them to the people around us, or even publicly. As a collective, we may witness a great injustice, or something may surface exposing a truth that could change our lives. The sun and the moon will both be at 7 degrees in Ophiuchus. 7 is a very spiritual number. It is the number of the truth seeker, but can also be the number of delusion. Ophiuchus is giving us the opportunity to use this number wisely, especially since numbers are also her forte. In a positive sense, the number 7 wants to understand the hidden truths or the hidden realms. Spiritual enlightenment is very important to the number 7, and as the sun and moon are both at 7 degrees in Ophiuchus, the message is likely to be very important. So watch out for dreams or visions that will open your eyes or bring in a sudden revelation of the truth and bring in the clarity needed for forward movement. Some may have to work on their shadow first though, especially if wounds of the past are still causing inhibitions or a lack of self-esteem. We must direct this powerful energy wisely. The aspects to our new moon emphasize the need for stability, both emotionally and mentally. Actually, mental health may be on the rise as many more break under the pressure of this matrix system that we are living under. And this is especially so as our moon is in square to both Mars and Neptune, which creates confusion and volatility. Once again, I would like to remind you that the brighter our light becomes is the larger that the shadow will grow. We must stand in truth and justice, but with love and compassion in our hearts. We must think before we act and use strategy rather than impulse to move forward on our goals. For those that have put in the work on spiritual development, you can expect more ascensions and awakenings to take place. As a matter of fact, expect more spiritual doors to open to further hidden gifts and knowledge. The Grand Cross that has been in effect since the beginning of June has changed hands slightly as Pluto has taken Mars's place. Now the load is becoming more heavy and burdensome. Pluto in square to Uranus suggests that a mass destiny is about to take place, where serious lessons will have to be learned. And because a trans-Neptunian Ixion is now at the galactic centre, it is likely that we will see more revolutions taking place throughout the world, especially since Ophiuchus has revolutionary tendencies as well. There will be a lot going on over the next few years. Relationship issues are still ongoing, either due to infidelity or strife. So many are at odds with career and home, struggling to manage the two, therefore causing unrest or discontent within family relationships or intimate relationships. For others, selfish behaviour is at the root, but that's about to backfire on them if it hasn't already. It's so important that we keep our 2 feet on the ground and our minds focused. There is no doubt that our system is crumbling and that we need to adapt to a new way of living, and that includes our way of thinking too. We must not allow ourselves to be put off by those who are stuck in the delusion that things should or will remain the same. So for this new moon and the next 2 weeks, I recommend that we continue with meditation, chanting or praying. Sound therapies, breathing and grounding techniques will be beneficial too. Actually, sound therapies involving chimes, singing bowls, bells, theta, binaural beats, etc. will be quite powerful and healing at this time, especially since Ophiuchus carries the sound wave as one of her symbols. Crystals will hold a high vibration at this time, as will certain places and monuments around the earth. I suggest that we burn white candles for purity, and sage incense or frankincense and myrrh for spiritual clarity and cleansing. I know I'm probably beginning to sound like a broken record, and I will probably continue to do so for some time, since the energies will intensify rather than retreat. I also recommend colour therapy as well. So please do reach out to me if you have any questions. My details are in the description box below. And if you resonate with my podcast, please do like, subscribe and share to spread the word. And once again, I am wishing you all peace and much love. Take care.